YouTube, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage back on Total War Rome 2 with yet another multiplayer battle. This time it's going to be myself again with Orko Torxo here, and we've got a Flying Walrus again on the other side, once again bringing the Arverni, clearly looking for some vengeance. And then we got Macri 2402 here as a Suebi. So this is another medium funds 2 versus 2, which again I thoroughly enjoyed the last one. I was looking forward to this one. I picked the Lusitani just because I like them, and partly because my teammate picked Carthage, and I thought that the Lusitani would make a fun ally for Carthage. My teammate picked an odd army here, but he brings the Balearic Slingers again. So, but 3 Balearic Slingers in medium funds is going to be pretty dangerous. So he's going to be able to do some damage. He's got 2 African pikes backing them up. Odd choice, but potentially useful. He's got 2 late Carthaginian hoplites, 1 on each flank. He's got 3 Libyan infantry here in the center, so swordsmen, 1 late Libyan hoplite, a noble cav general. So his army is pretty limited in mobility, but quite a bit of decent heavy infantry. I've got 3 Iberian slingers up front, not the Balearics, so just cheap slingers. I have 1 Lusitani noble, 3 veteran shield warriors, 2 Scutari spearmen, 2 Cantabrian cav, and 2 Scutari cav, and then 1 Iberian swordsman here in the back. These are the guys with the cool Soliferum javelins, the solid iron javelins you can see him carrying there. One of my favorite units in the game. Even though it's a light infantry, that's not particularly powerful. The Suebi has gone similar to the Iceni army you saw in the last one. No cavalry, which again is an odd pick, especially when you have Germanic scouts, which could be so useful in a medium funds battle. And he's probably going to regret not having brought them. I was typing to my opponent, so he was trying to sneak some Cimbri bowwomen out here. And this scares me. He's got 4 Cimbri bowwomen. That is a very powerful, very dangerous missile threat, again, at this funds level, and probably pretty decent at any funds level. He's got a bunch of Bloodsworn, because these guys are cheap, and again, normally in a matchup against heavy infantry and stuff, Bloodsworn are not going to be that good. They are club-wielding, which means they have good armor piercing. They have a solid charge. They're an overall like okay-ish unit at this funds level. So 3 Bloodsworn over here, 3 more Bloodsworn here, 2 Swordmasters backed up by a Swordmaster General, so for 4 in total. So the Suebi has some very dangerous infantry. Now, my veteran shield warriors will make extremely short work of a Bloodsworn. They're not exactly... so Bloodsworn are going to do best against low attack, high armor targets, like a hoplite or something. That's where they'll excel, or spear unit. So they would do well against my Scutari spearmen, which makes me... I brought the spearmen thinking surely the Germania or Suebians are going to bring cav. Nope. I also had to worry about heavy horse coming from the Arverni, and he has delivered the heavy horse this time. He's got 3 of them and 1 light horse. He's got a chosen spear unit out here, which is an odd pick. I would have picked several Levy Freemen, or 2 or 3 of them. However many you could get for that price would have been more useful. Got an Oathsworn and 4 chosen swords again, so a tough infantry line. And very potent cavalry, but no skirmishers. So 3 Balearic Slingers, 3 Iberian Slingers, 4 Cimbri bowwomen on the other side. So we've got to face them, and so I was typing notes to my Carthaginian teammate, and I said, hey, I'm going to need your help against the Cimbri bowwomen. And he's like, yeah, no problem. My teammate was really good about helping me in both battles, and I was trying to be good at helping him. You can see these Cimbri bowwomen here with those sweet Germanic longbows. And these ladies fight with the spear as well once the combat begins. So if you don't get a good charge on them with cavalry, your cavalry can get messed up a little, especially a very light cav like Cantabrian cav. Now my Cantabrian cav were poorly matched against the Suebi, and they will be actually very well matched over here against the Arverni heavy horse, so I've switched flanks with them. Cantabrian cav are not a particularly impressive Jav cav, not for their price at least. They have terrible melee stats, and nothing really good to help them make up for, but they do have the elite javelin. So they will do elite javelin damage, and in a medium funds battle where, you know, one of our opponents over here has gone for quite a bit of heavy horse, they're going to be a very potent tool. This heavy horse is going to rue the day that they got harassed by the Cantabrian cav, and this is not Attila. Now, Jav cav have gotten considerably better in Attila, but in Rome 2, Jav cav can be very dangerous to a heavy horse, and they are very unlikely to catch the Jav cav. So over here now we've got 6 slingers facing the Cimbri bowwomen, and the Germanian player is going to actually try and push up with a group here, and that's not a bad plan, so I'm going to have to swing these Iberian swords out. to try and match this, and I don't really know how Skutari Spearmen will do against Bloodsworn. I don't think they're going to do well, just based on the stats, because my Skutari Spearmen have such low attack, and then the Bloodsworn will win the charge as well. Now, my Iberian Swordsmen ought to do very well versus the Bloodsworn. They have pretty decent attack stats and, you know, decent melee defense, so they ought to do pretty good. The Shield Warriors and, of course, the Lusitani Nobles. My Lusitani Nobles are not overmatched by the Swordmasters. I think they could match a Swordmaster, but my Veteran Shield Warriors are definitely outmatched by a Swordmaster, just due to weight class and stats. However, I have a little bit of a plan. What I want to do is I want to use I'm keeping my Skutari Cav right here in the center behind my Swordsman. And this was originally so that if the Suebi player had Cav, I could fend off his, because frontal assaults into Iberians are pretty good because they tend to have very low armor, with cavalry at least, but you do have to watch out for javelins, but typically they can be pretty dangerous. So the Skutari Cav is meant to disrupt the charge of Swordmasters, so once Swordmasters were here, my Skutari Cav would disrupt their charge, and then my infantry can move in and not be as badly bloodied on the charge versus the Suebi. So that was my plan. We'll see whether or not it's able to be enacted. You can see the skirmish phase beginning over here. The Cimbri Bowwomen's still getting a good start to this skirmish. I was trying to get some cheap shots over here on these Cimbri Bowwomen, but overall the Arverni sends a helping hand over here in the form of cavalry, so we've got to quickly retreat, and again this is dangerous for my swordmen. I use my Skutari Cav to interrupt the charge of the Bloodsworn, badly damaging one unit of Bloodsworn, or 2 units of them actually. But again, the Bloodsworn are still going to do pretty solidly against my Skutari Spearmen, especially this unit that didn't get a charge. But my Iberian Swordsmen are going to do very well versus that. So the Bloodsworn are going to chase me back. They get a very nice Jav toss. I lose 11 cavalry to a Bloodsworn, which really sucks. But I'm going to double back and charge them here and get a few more kills. The Suebi is on full-blown rush, which I don't really understand. I guess I partly do, because now they're having to deal with all these skirmishers, but they're still doing pretty well. They've only lost 1 Cimbri Bowwoman, and I would have just ignored our skirmishers and gone straight for our Lusitani Noble. But here I am able to bring my Skutari Cav around, and you're going to see the effect of being able to disrupt this long, thin line of Swordmasters. I get very nice charges here, knock over a ton of Swordmasters, and then I start moving my infantry forward immediately, and I'll be able to retreat my Swordmasters and let my infantry come in with the now disrupted Swordmasters that are chasing my cavalry rather than ready to charge my infantry. So this gives my Lusitani Veteran Shield Warriors a great opportunity to get in, as well as my Lusitani Nobles over here, and they will do pretty well in this fight. The Carthaginian brings pikemen over to help my flank. That's very, very good of him, actually. Actually, this is where my Lusitani Noble is at. He's wasting some Bloodsworn. The Carthaginian quickly gets outflanked by Bloodsworn. The Bloodsworn will do very well there. He needs to turn those pikes around. You can see that the Swordmasters, they're using Headhunt, and the Slingers are kind of shooting my Veteran Shield Warriors in the back. Otherwise, they were doing quite well there. You can see they're actually doing extremely well here versus that Swordmaster as well. So that my little strategy there with the Cav worked, and then I was able to pin down some Arverni Heavy Horse, and I'm going to move this Skutari out of the fight versus the Bloodsworn and in against the Heavy Cav. Over here, the Arverni Heavy Cavalry is being harassed by my Cantabrian Cav, and again you can see that the Heavy Cav is falling and being lured away from important parts of the battlefield. So my Cantabrian Cav over here is an excellent deterrent, especially since there's Noble Cav and a late Libyan Hoplite out here, so we're actually managing to wreck the Heavy Cav. Now it is going to go ahead and get through and get to some of our skirmishers, and the Cimbri Bowwomen are still very much alive, and they are getting a lot of kills. Fortunately, they are targeting our skirmishers rather than targeting my infantry, which is extremely vulnerable. This unit I'm going to swing around here and try and finish off this Swordmaster, because my general is going to lose to the Swordmaster decisively. I've already used Headhunt on my general, which was a mistake. I should have saved it for here. And again, these Cimbri Bowwomen are going to be able to waste my Veteran Shield Warrior, so I just want to get in here and do as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. So I'm going to bring my Veteran Shield Warriors into the back of this Swordmaster. You can see the Cimbri Bowwomen just filling my men full of arrows, but that means they'll also hit a few of their own Swordmasters. But yeah, you can see my Veteran Shield Warriors killing some of the Swordmasters in a rear charge, but also taking heavy archer fire. But again, the Swordmaster numbers are starting to drop, but unfortunately my general is starting to drop as well. These pikemen, though, being used to support even just a little bit, I'll take it here because I need it. So my teammate doing a brilliant job. The Arverni have been engaged, and then the Oathsworn General immediately gets rear charged by a Noble Cav. Didn't do a ton of kills, but it really helped out because otherwise this unit would have just been ruining that late Carthaginian Hoplite. The two Hoplites have infantry units fixed though. The Noble Cav not getting a particularly large number of kills, but really affecting the morale and helping the Carthaginian units in this fight. Look how long this Libyan Hoplite's going to hold up a Chosen Spearman. That's an excellent fight for the Carthaginian. Here, my general's unit, I do believe my general, he dies somewhere around here. Again, the Scutari Spearmen doing an excellent job supporting my Scutari Cavalry. And then I've got my Cantabrian Cav still alive, but I'm now going to swing it past the Arverni flank and try and go help the Carthaginian in the infantry fight, because just at a quick glance I was worried the Carthaginian would get overwhelmed in an infantry fight. But yeah, you can see here the Scutari Spearmen in here doing a great job. The Cimbri Bowwomen are destroying me at this point. Look at the pikes in here actually managing to get a few kills against the Swordmasters. This is pretty handy. I have this veteran shield warrior going to again try and get into the back. I'm just sending everything into the back of the Suebi General. If I kill the Suebi General, the rest of the Suebi troops are going to want to rout. So that's why I'm ignoring the Bowwomen, because I can't catch them on foot. Iberian Swordsmen, everything just bring in the house against the Swordmasters. And that unit is now getting killed. So the Suebi General is going to go off the field, but my General, I think he's dead at this point. If not, he's soon dead. But watch this cheeky little move here. I get my Cantabrian Cav once again. So this is the second time that Flying Walrus has found Jav Cav of mine behind his general's unit with elite javelin damage. And this time I'm going to get really nice javelin volleys off with my Cantabrian Cav into the back of this Oathsworn. And we're going to start killing Oathsworn at a very rapid pace here, to the tune of basically ruining the unit. So you can see here that their numbers are dropping very rapidly. So once again, the Arverni General suffers the wrath of a Jav Cav, and we're able to win. And now we can chase the Cimbri Bowwomen. I think I get away with a cavalry unit alive over here as well. There is a light cavalry unit left for the Arverni, but it's been misused. Over here, my Cantabrian Cav are going to run a rear charge on the Chosen Spearmen. They won't get many kills, but at least they'll knock them over. This is really just to help out. And look, this one cheap late Libyan Hoplite held out the whole battle against the Chosen Spearmen. Even losing, it just held out and held out. Now it's going to get reinforced. And my Cantabrian Cav are free to come after the Cimbri Bowwomen over here now, who are being chased by one of my Scutari Spearmen. So this battle could have gone either way in my mind. The Carthaginian army was not great here. The Arverni army was okay, just didn't have skirmish support. And you can see that they ended up paying for that in the end. Yeah, my Scutari Spearmen combined with the Cantabrian Cav will definitely rout these Bowwomen. But you can see they pull out a long, heavy spear there. Ooh, poor lady getting stabbed through the heart. Yep, my Spearman gave love a bad name right there. Oh, there's a lame pun. So I hope y'all enjoyed these battles. I actually really liked the Medium Funds battle. I thought it was a different dynamic to it. I may have to play more of them. I enjoyed it. Look at this Iberian Swordsman here. 200 kills. Now talk about worthwhile. This veteran shield warrior here doing very well. My general did okay. Not real great. Scutari Cav being very decisive here, killing a lot of high quality units. This is mostly Swordmasters and heavy Cav with some Bloodsworn mixed in there. So some very nice kills, quality kills. And this is pretty much heavy cavalry and Oathsworn right here from the Cantabrian Cav, with a few Bowwomen mixed in at the end. So again, very nice kills. Nothing spectacular off the Iberian Slingers. To get any kills with these guys is fairly worth it. This Scutari Spearman doing quite well. I think this is the one that killed quite a few cavalry. Or maybe this is the one that had a better fight against the Bloodsworn. This is probably the one that got beaten by the Bloodsworn. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this one. Let's take a look. Here's the kills of the Carthaginian player. Not that great with the Balearic Slingers this time. In the end, a very nice number of kills on the Noble Cav. Very good here with this Libyan infantry. The Pikes getting 74 kills may not be worth it, but getting 74 kills with Pikes isn't always real easy, so I'll give him credit for that. The Germanian player here, you can see just how dangerous these Cimbri Bowwomen were. This is the only one that got wrecked by our skirmishers. Otherwise, they were getting a lot of kills and having a great influence in the battle. What killed the Suebi player was his Swordmasters not getting the kills they needed, though this Bloodsworn right here performing very well. Flying Walrus here, you can see that his Oathsworn General not getting the number of kills that it needed, and his Heavy Cavalry also not getting the number of kills that they needed to be successful. Same thing with the Chosen Swordsman, so he was just not able to make it happen over here. But hope you all enjoyed this. Definitely thank you to my teammate for some fun games. Thank you to our opponents for some fun games. Hope you all are enjoying the continuing Rome 2 content. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.